So one of my friends was urging me to see the Fear Street movies from Netflix. Now, I did um, put them in a queue, but yeah, the only reason it's been so long since I've been planning on seeing them was just because so many other things have popped up that I was something more interested in. And being as big of a movie fan as I am, things get swept under the rug all the time. There's movies that have been wanted that have been swept under the rug for years. So even though it's been like 6 months or so since I've been wanting to see Fear Street, you know, here it is. Yeah, this one right here is not entirely a good movie, but it has enough good in it for me to recommend. Like if the movie from start to finish was good, then then of course I would say that the movie was truly good. But the way that it stands right now, the movie does enough for me to solidly recommend. And of course, this is an easy recommendation to anybody that loves horror. If you love horror, you know if they ever make, I'm not sure if they have hard copies of this on DVD and Blu-ray, but yeah, definitely buy hard copies of this and don't just keep it on Netflix. Definitely buy hard copies of this if you're a hardcore horror fanatic. So the Fear Street film, this first one is Fear Street 1994, and yeah, when I first heard about Fear Street, it reminded me of the R.L. Stein book series, and yeah, R.L. Stein is best known for doing Goosebumps and Shivers, but yeah, he also did Fear Street. And yeah, I'm not sure if this has any sort of relation to it. I have only read one of the Fear Street books, but yeah, this one right here, yeah, this is definitely a movie for older teenagers and young adults, while the R.L. Stein books were mostly geared towards like junior high students. So the movie opens up in kind of an okay fashion. It it was pretty. We've really seen that all done before in many other horror films, like even just the way that the killings happen reminded me a lot of Scream. At least Scream was very original in its regard with the way that the killings were done. This one right here, like the way that the opening kill is done with him killing the girl from like reaching behind and killing her in the front. Yeah. Now, even though that particular kill wasn't all that original, the thing that really struck me was the general look of everything. Although this movie does have its share of flaws, the general look of the film, it has this really cool feel, this aura about it that I thought, you know what, this movie could totally suck, have some of the most obnoxious characters to it, but I can't turn this off because it looks so good. All these neon lights and all these different glow in the dark sorts of colors make this movie very very pleasurable to sit through and actually look at. So after that kill, we get to meet a bunch of these characters, a bunch of these obnoxious, dumb teenagers, and they're some of them are smug, some of them are whiners, and yeah, we don't really like see the difference between something like Halloween and Scream is we not only do get to know these characters, we get to actually like them almost right off the bat. While in some other things that are like basically freak shows, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and some of the Friday the 13th movies, we don't really care about any of these characters. The difference is in this one right here, although we're introduced to this core of characters, it's only later on in the film where we actually grow to like them and grow to wish that they all end up surviving. My favorite is this a black geeky kid named Josh who is also a big metalhead. Well, maybe not a big metalhead, but yeah, he likes um, things like Iron Maiden and Bush, even though Bush is more of a grunge band. But whatever. This movie takes place in 1994, the year before I was born. So all the music is another reason why I didn't want to turn this thing off, because when you have really cool music like Iron Maiden and Bush playing, like the music from the 90s stomps everything these days. So later on, while we get to know these characters and more killings end up happening, some of the killers in this do look pretty cool. Like there's this one killer who has this really freaky looking skull mask, skeleton mask, and yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, we get to okay. There's some supernatural elements to why these killings are happening, and it doesn't the beauty of this is it doesn't seem really cheesy. Well, okay, it kind of does, but something that we can still take pretty seriously. It's not one of those this again no, this right here actually seems kind of like, oh, okay, yeah. So that was a good thing that I thought when I was watching this. And while we get to really care about these characters, eventually we wonder, and this is something that I love watching with really almost any movie. How are these characters that we've grown to like? How are they supposed to survive? How will they end up surviving? That wonder of how really got to me. And yeah, that was ultimately icing on the cake for me. And of course, all the extremely gory death scenes were quite impressive. And yeah, that's a reason why I think, probably the reason why I think that most horror fans would really dive into this. Yeah, although it takes a while to care about these characters, and most of them in the beginning are kind of dumb and smug, and there are a few things of unoriginality. This movie is still a good time, and most of the things really overshadow the bad. So yeah, I'm going to give Fear Street 1994 a solid 3 stars out of 4.